Okay, so any specific question? Is this class or anything? Let me know the question. No?
Which day is the final? Is it Tuesday or Thursday?
Sorry?
Which day is the final?
Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, so if you do not have any question, let me go overview about what we learned on this day. Right? So basically, this module is everything about computer file, how you processing the file, right? How you processing the file. And you have the sum of very, very common operation when you work the file here, when you work with the file. So the first thing, when we work the file, you have to declare for the file identifier. The file identifier is the one you can think about. It's a variable, right? It is linked to the file. It's linked to actual file you are working. That's right. And in order to declare for the file identifier, you have the two of the keywords. The first one, the input file. That's when you want to access into the file and reading out, right? And it have the output file. That's when you want to write it into the file here. Right? So that is the two keywords you have to remember when you work with the file in the, you think about this one is the zero code here. You have the two keywords here. The first one, it is the input file when you want to accept into the file and then take it out, you read it in the, and it's the output file when you want to write it into the file. And this one here, you can think about this one and this one. They are, you can think about they are variable, and they link to actual file, right? It's linked to an actual file here. So now, if you want to open the file, the first step you want to open file, you use the keyword here, the open here. So what action? You associate the actual file to the variable name employee here, right? Employee data here, and also. See, in the case, if you want to reading it from the file and process the data, you have to use the input and take every record from the file and you read it here. Okay, so yeah, you can see that's the way you store in the database. You can think about this one, right? For each employee, you store it by the row, and in the row you have the multiple field. So you have the name, you have the address, and you have the pay rate also. And normally they separate by the comma here. Okay, now the performing the file operation, normally you work with sequential file one by one, and normally it already sort in the order, right? Ascending order or descending order. Okay. So that's the only some of the keyword you have to remember when work the file. You will have to declare the identifier, right? And you want to open the file or you want to read the file, open the file, you use the open here. Whenever you want to open the file, you open and you associate the file with the variable user declare here. Okay, and remember that whenever we're processing with the file, you have to remember you have to close the file after you're done with the processing. Okay, so some of the application you learn so far with the when processing the file is a backup file, right? That means you want to copy from the original file and you do some modification and you move it to the new file here. So the backup copy is the parent file, and the new revised copy is the child file here. So that is an example of the program, right? You have the database. You have a database in that you keep track of every employee in the company, and for every employee you have the name, you have address, and you have the pay rate, right? And the purpose of this program is that you access into the employer data. And you keep every name and address the same. The only thing you want to change is that you give the pay rate for everyone by the increase of the two marks here. So the program you can think about that is the data, that is database you have here. You have name, you have address, and you have the pay rate here. Right? So the purpose of this one, you just copy everything. You just copy everything exactly the same with a thread as a name. You copy it into the another one file, and the only thing you want to change is that for everyone, you just increase the pay rate by 2. Increase the pay rate by 2 here. Right? So now that's the process. You when you work with this one, you do it is in the sequence basic here. You open the file, you read every single record from the row. Right? So when you read the name, you read the address, right? And you keep, so whenever we read for the pay rate, you increase the pay rate by 2 here. Right? That's all. And now you're done with that one, you write into the another file here. And this one, it is a backup file. And the new one, it is a child file here. Okay? That's all. That's the process of this one. And I expect that you have to understand the process of the flowchart and the serial code when you work with this one. So we see, well, whenever we work with this one here, the process here, you see the process of the first thing, it is a read the first, sorry, the first, this, you can think about this is a primary input here in order to run with the loop, right? And you access to the first record of the database, and you take it out. What is a name A here, right? What's the name A, and what address first street, and what is the pay rate 10 here, right? So now when you go to the detail loop here, you do it everything from the first record until the last record. Is that not end of the file? For every iteration of the loop, what do you do? Right? You just do the action of increase the pay rate by 2 here, right? And now see this one reading, that you have input here reading. Now you write it into the new file. That's why you have the output here. Write it in the new file A, first sheet and 12, and you move on. You move on to this action here. You move on to the next employee, the next record in the database here. So the process is very simple for this one, right? And also I expect that when you look in the serial code, you have to know how to do with the program here, right? So we have to this one here. You see, you have to declare 2 variables. This one associated with the file here. This one associated with the modified file, right? And for the housekeeping, you have to open for the 2 file here. You have to open for the 2 file, and the housekeeping, you read the first record of the database, right? And you go to detail loop. For everyone, you just do the action of increase the rate by 2, and you have the action of write into the new one. Right? This one, when you write to the new one, you're done with the one record, right? And if you want to move to the new record, you have to read it from the next one here. That's all. That's the process. And remember that in the case you done everything, with why not end of file, right? So when you done everything with the end of the file, you have to remember that you have to close both of the 2 files here, right? Okay, and that is the one application, right? One application, that means it's a backup here. The another application is that the control break logic, right? The control break logic is that a user see the control break logic. See, the first thing when you work with the control logic, you have to remember that they already sorted in the order of the sequential order. It can be ascending or descending, it doesn't matter. But the first thing, they must be sorted in the order already, right? So for this, if you look on the database here, you have the name and the city, and you have the state here. They already sorted in the order of ABC alphabet here, right? Okay, so how we break? Read the first one, Alabama. Read the second one, Alabama. Read the third one, Alabama. Read the fourth one, Alaska. Not the same, right? So you know that you stop here and you count it. You have the 3 employee from the Alabama here, and you keep the same from the Alaska 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop it, and you put out the report. You have the 5 employee from Alaska, and so on here. Right? And the process of this one is also the process of this one. It is that here. Now see the process of this one here is the same, right? You see, you have the file here. For this one, you only are processing with the 1 file, right? That's why you see you only do with the 1 input here. You do not have to do anything with the writing, right? You just access into the file and do the report and show out 3 employees from Alabama and 5 from Alaska and so on. That's why you only have one variable when you work the file, and this one is also This one is also linked to the file here. Link to where the file. Yeah, link to the file here. Client by state.dat. You can think about this file is a client state.dat here. So in order to do with this one, you have the two important variable you have to remember. You have the count here, and you have old state here. That is very two important variable, and you have to know how to use it here. The count here, that's at the beginning you maintain. That is the accumulator, right? That's the accumulator. That's why at the beginning you set it 0 here. So every time you read it, you have the same old state Alabama. You have same old state Alabama. You have same state Alabama. So every time it's the same, you increase the counter by 1. Right? So see, 0, 1, 2, 3. Now when you go to the 4, they are not the same anymore. Right? That's why you stop it and you print it out. That's why you stop it and print it out. You have the 3 employee from Alabama. That's why you have to keep track of the 2 counter. The first one is the count here. The second one is the old state. It keeps its Alabama. Right? So whenever it's not the same with Alabama, you know that you have to stop it and print out the output. Okay, so the process also is very straightforward for this one. I believe that I did it very clearly on this priority, right? So see how it works for this one here. For every time you do with this, you check if the state here equal to old state or not. Right? If yes, keep doing it. Keep increasing the count here. Right? Keep increasing the count here. If not, you have to go control break. So what you do with control break, you have to reset the count by 0. Right? And also, you have to use old state here. It is a new one. Right? And keep doing it here. Now you have the backup application. Right? You have the control break logic application. And what is the other one? What is the other one? A merging, right? You have to merging them together. So in the merging file, you think about you have in order to merging 2 files together, you have 2 conditions here. Each file has the same record layout. That's the first thing, right? The second thing that both of the files they already sorted on the same order but on the same field. So you can think about you have the East Coast file and the West Coast file. They have the same layout here. Both of them they store about the employee name and the balance here. They have the same layout. They already sorted in the order of the alphabet here, right? You see A, B, D, C, E, F, and G here, right? So in order to do that with this one, you see, in order to do that, you have to maintain some of variables. The first one, you need to accept in the 2 file here, right? You need to accept into the 2 file here. That's why you have the 2 input file, and this variable linked to the file here. Right? This one linked to the file here, and the web file linked to the file here. And you want to merge them together into the new file, right? That's why you have to use the output here. And this one linked to the new file here. Okay. So now how is the process? You read every single record from each of them. Right? You read every single record from each of them. And when you stop the process here, when both of them come to the end of the file. Right? When both of them come to the end of the file, that's why you see you need to maintain a flag here. You need to maintain a flag here. Both of them at end or not, right? If not, you have to do it. Right? So every time you take it out one, and you compare. If this one less than, you put it in the merge here, right? So when you're done with this one, you move to the second one of this one, compare again. This one less than, put to this one, and so on here. Okay, so I believe that I will go over very into detail for this one already. So I just want to go over it again very fast here. Right? So I expect that you have to understand both of the flow chart and the pseudocode here. So you have the backup. You have the backup. What else? You have the backup. You have the first one is the backup, right? The second one is a control logic break, right? And the third one is merge them together, right? And the first one you have the master and transaction file here, right? Master and transaction file again. You can see for this one, also I explained it very clearly and in detail in the last class. So anyway, if you have any question with any of the 4 applications here, you just let me know. Okay. Now also in the last class we working a little bit with the Raptor when you want to create a data file and how you generate the file, how you store data into the file, and how you access into the file, take it out and do the processing. Right? So remember that in the case you work with the file in the Raptor, you have some of the procedure here. The first one is the redirect output here. Redirect output procedure. Redirect output is the process you want to store it into the file. Right? You want to store it in the file here. So basically, the file name is used in the argument and to the direct output here. Right? As shown in the example here. So you have the redirect output. That is a file you want to generate and you want to store data into the file here. Right? And it's a by the default here. If you do not specify the directory, right, the file will be stored in the same directory of the current Raptor program, right? Or you can use the whole part here to specify where do you want to store it here, right? Where do you want to store it here? So think about you want to store it in my document and John do and the sample CIT here, right? Okay. Okay, so if the second thing is that you can either turn on or off redirect the output by including the simple yes or true or no or false argument here, right? So think about that redirect output true or redirect output yes or redirect output false or redirect output no here when you want to stop the process. Okay, so that is a very simple example, right? So think the first thing here, if I want to create a file with the name is a sample.txt. For this example, I do not specify the path, right? That's why by the default, which is stored on the same directory with my Raptor file. Right? So now see, this example program requires user to input names and salary of employee, then store them into the text file with the name here, right? Like the name here, right? And user will enter multiple name and salary and exit program when enter the name with a star here. So that is very simple program with the loop, right? With the loop and then it controls the loop with the sentinel value here. Huh? Keep doing it until he enters the name equal to star here. That is very simple program with the loop, right? So see, you have the primary input here. Get the first name, right? Get the first name. You check the condition here, right? And do everything. Now remember, at the end of the loop, you always have the action to get the new value of the variable who control the loop here. Otherwise, it is indefinite loop. Right? So see, you have three rules with the loop here. Primary input, check the condition, and have the action to change the value of the variable who controls the loop here. Now, inside the body of the loop, every time you get the name here, right? You get the name here. Every time you get the name, right? Every time you get the name here already, right? You get the name from the first one here. Now, the put name here is the output. But the output, when you work the file, it not show it up on the screen. But actually, the process here is the writing. It's the writing into the text file, right? It's writing into the text file. Now, see, when you're done with the name, he got a salary from the user, right? So he enters the 70 here. Now the action here again, you write it into the new file, right? Okay, the process is do it again and again and again and again for multiple employee here. So see, you have the two keywords here, redirect output. That when you want to generate the file and you want to store it, right? And this at the end of the process, if you want, when you've done everything with this one, you have to put redirect output now here. That if you stop it, you close the file here. Right? Make sense? Okay. Any question with this one? Guys?
Yeah, I do have a question. This is kind of just about like data files and stuff in Raptor. Is like, say if you want to store two different kinds of things like names and salaries, do you have to like separate them line by line? Is that like you can't put like them on the same line? Is that something you always have to do when you want to read these files?
So basically, by the default, when you work with the Raptor file, every time you store the data in the file, you can store it in the new line, in the text file. It's by the default, right? So if you want to access into that, so you have to follow the same order. You have to do it line by line.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so if you look on the program here, it's very simple, right? It's very simple program here. Okay, right? You see my program here. I just generate the file and input file. Where my file? Yeah, so I want to store it in the desktop Raptor here. Input. Okay, so see, it will generate a text file in the same directory. So basically, you see, in the same directory, I will have, what is it? I think I will have a sample here. Okay, I don't have it. So if you already have the text file with the same name in the same directory, so when you run this program, it will override it. It will override it, right? So remember something here. Anyway, that means you better I delete the part here. Delete the part. So I run my program. See when I run it here. What's the name? What's the pay rate? 10. What's the name B? What's the pay rate? 15. What is the name C? What is the pay rate? 20. The name D, pay rate 25. You see, keep doing it. And you exit the loop when you have the name equals star here. Right? So that is sentinel control here. So see, even that I have the put name, I have the put salary here, but I have nothing showing up on my screen because the process here it write into the file. The put here that means it write into the text file. So when you look it right into my file, I have the A, B, C, and D here. Right? Okay, so that is the process of the store data in the file, and you have the huge benefit when you store in the file, right? You have the permanent storage here. Right? So you see when you store it, and later on after 1 year or after 2 years, you can go back and you take it out. It doesn't matter, right? You store it for the permanent storage. Okay, so that is the process of writing into the file. Now, when you have the file, you have the database of the name and the salary. Now, later on, you want to go back, right? You want to access into that and take it out to check what is the pay rate for A, what is the pay rate for B, and what is the pay rate for C. You will be able to do it with the process of the reading it from that one. So, in order to do with the reading the file, in order to do, yeah. Now, in order to do with the reading and accessing into the file, again, you redirect, but this one redirect input, not the output. Right? Output, you know that the output of process is the writing in the file. Input, that means you access into the file and read it out. So redirect input, you have to specify the file where you want to read it, right? And in that case, if you do not have the if you do not put the directory here by default, it is stored on the same directory again. You have to specify the name here. Okay. Now the function here, or in the case when you read, think about this one here. When you read about the data part here, right? You have when you go back to this one. So in the process of reading, you read it one line by line, right? You read line by line. So this one, take it out, name. Take it out, the pay rate, take it out, name, take it out, pay rate, take it out, name, take it out, pay rate. So until the end of the file. You do it, right? One by one until the end file. So in the interrupter, you have the function. You have the function. It's ended file here. Ended file. It tell you that it's true or not. That is give you the Boolean logic, right? Yes or no, or true or false. So it's true, you know that it's the end of the file. Or no, that you can keep it doing it, right? So that process when you work with the process. That is the process when you work with the function, built-in function, end of the input here, end of the input. That means keep reading it until you have the end of the input become true here. Okay, so see that's the process here. The process is that I want to accept it into the file I just created before. That is sample.txt, right? So I have to use the core function here. I have to use the core function. It redirect, but this time input. Redirect input here. And you see, I keep doing it for the first one, the second line, the third line, the fourth line, fifth line, until the end of the file here. You see, and the function here, the end of the input here, give you the condition, yes or no. Yes or no. Yes, that means you already ended the file. And you exit it. If not here, what happened? You know that for the file here, you store the name and the parent, name and parent, and name and the parent, right? So that's why for every iteration of loop, you take it out the name, you take it out the parent, right? And you print it out. Right? So see, when you're done with the first one, you go back to the loop, you move to the second iteration, take it out, print it out, and move to the third one, and so on. Keep doing it until the end of the file. Make sense? Okay, that's all. That is very simple program here. So now for this program, right? So I think again you can copy it and you paste it on the same program also. It's okay, right? You can put it on the same program. Same program here. Right? So now what happened here? I run this program again. Right? And program this time I do with the A, I do with the 100, I do with the B, I have the 200, I have C, 150, I have D, and 200, 300. Now I enter activity. So see that process here, right? So what happened with the program here? The first thing generates the sample. This one will override the O1. Right? Remember that this one overrides the O1 here. That's why add new one here. A 100, B 200, C 150, and D 300 here. Now, when you've done everything with the processing, right? Done everything with the processing, store it into the file. Now this program here, accept into the file, read it one by one. What's the name? What's the salary? What's the name? And you can run it by one by one command here. You can see it by shape over here. What's the A here? 150. C. I have B. Go again. 200. Now, to make it simple, I just have 2 employees only. So, I done with this one. Exit to this one here, right? So, see, this step I go back. I think I stop. You have not closed it yet, right? That's why you cannot accept it. That's the thing. You raise the question why every time you have to close it, right? So again, I have to run it again. So, okay, so I run it again here. Now I run it again, activate here, I run it again. Right. 100. B. Now to make it simple, I only have 2 employees. Okay, so now the process here, I done with this one. I redirect output no. I regenerate the file and close it already, guys. So I go by this one. I have A 100 and B 200 here, right? So now I done with the storing the data in the file. The second step of the program here, I accept into the file, right? Check the condition here, yes or no, right? Check condition here, and the input, and the input here, no, right? So put the name, bring it out. The second one, bring it out, and the file. I see that we have the A, B, right? Very simple here. And again, you know that the whole process of the working with the file here is actually it works with the loop, right? That's a loop only. It's a loop only. So remember that when you know how to the loop, you know that how to work with the array already, right? So think about the program asks you that you have to store the name and the salary from the file. When you access the file, you read out the name and read out the salary. You have to store it into the parallel array or whatever. You have to know how to do it, right? Very simple with this program. Any question, guys? So I think that's all for the lecture. And actually, we've done everything with the lecture already. And so for the module number 8, it's everything about the review, the final exam, and the after exam. So we've done everything with the lecture. Now, I think for the homework for this week. You have debugging and the final project. So see what you have to debug. Yeah, debugging is everything for working with the part. Each time a salesperson sells a car at the new person name and the amount of sale of the new car, separate price or quite a much price. Okay, so the first thing you have to identify what is the application with this one here. You have 4 type application, right? You have the backup application. You have the control logic break, right? And you have the merging, and you have what else? You have merging, and you have what's the fourth one? Now see, you have the backup, you have the control logic break, you have merging, and you have the master and transaction file, right? Master and transaction file. So what is the application of this one here? What's the application here? To merge them together, right? You have the 2 files. You have used car and the new car. Right? That's why they store in the 2 files. And they already sort it in the order of the salesperson ID number, right? It's a salesperson ID number already. So that's why you see you have the 3 variable here. This 2 variable, it is a 2 file, right? New car and the used car. And the new one here, it is a merging file. You see, this one you want to read it, this one you want to read it, this one you want to write into the here, right? So very straightforward here. And you know that in order to do with the process of the merging 2 files, you have to maintain a flag. It's a both and a file not, right? You keep doing it until the both of the file come to the end of the file here. That's why you have to keep track of the flag here. And at the beginning, you put the note here. Right? So see, when you have a get ready here, you have to open both of the 3 files. Right? You have to open both of the 3 files. Now the process, you read the 1 record from the new, you read the 1 record from the new, right? And read 1 record the use, and you check here, right? What is it? Okay, high name, and the C person is a high name. Both of the other 5 yet here. What is it? What's the high name?
Oh, that's the condition for the ender file.
Okay. See, and you have the condition here, right? You get the end here. Okay, so that's the condition for when you have end of the file. You have the end of the file here, right? See, if you read it at the end of the file for the new cell, right? You set it to the high name. And if you add end of the use a cell person here, you set it to the end of the file high name here. And if both of them here, only both of them at the end of the file, right? The black change it to the yes, otherwise it's no here. That's why you keep doing it until both of the file comes to an end here, right? So every time is a little loop here, right? So when we read one record from the new and we read one record from the old, you have to compare them together. The thing is that here you see they sort in the order. They sorted in the order of the cell person ID read, right? That's why you have to compare. You have to compare it here. So what is it? What is the order here? In the separate file sort in the cell person ID. The cell in the person ID. Right? So now, if the new greater than the use here, then output use to the old cell, right? And when we're done with the use cell here, you have to read. Now this one, something wrong with this one, right? No, that's something wrong, right? When you're done, when you store for the use already, you have to move the new record in the use, not in the new, right? And you see, if you look in the process of the merging here, you see process of the merging here, how we work. This one. Merging. I see. Yeah. Okay, so see. Now see for this program here, you can see the program here, right? So we see the process is that you read one record from the east, you read the one record from the west, and you compare them together, right? So see, if east less than the west, that means you have to rewrite the east. You have to write the east into the merge file, right? So when you're done with the east in the merge file, you have to move to the next record in the east here, not in the west, right? Okay. So the same with the pseudocode also. The same with the debugging is the side. When you're done with the use, one record is the use, you have to move to the new record in the use, not the new here. Okay, so that's something wrong with this one, right? And also this one, you have the output the new. Again, this one, when you're done with the new, you have to input the new here, not the new. Okay, and keep doing it. If both of them come to an end, and you exit the program, you stop the process. Make sense? Okay. Now, for every debugging exercise, the first thing you have to identify what's the application. So when you know that application, you have to go to the slide here. You know that this one work with the merging here, and you know what's the process of this one. Now the second one here. The second one, the tools here class. Each time student so contribution record name and value. 2 file has been created for the home room A and room B. It is all the contribution from the high gate to the low gate here. Okay, this one again, this one is merging, right? This one is merging, but you have to remember here, this one is a sort from the high to the low, right? That's why you have to pay attention for this one. And the process exactly the same. You have the 3 files, you have the 2 files, and you want to merge them into the new file. And also you have to check the correction. You only stop the process when both of the files come to an end. And that's why you have the high, you have the high value here. Right? Okay. Now see, this one is not correct, right? This one is not correct here because they ask you that you have to insert in the order from the high gate to the low gate, right? That's why whenever you have a high, you have to output the room A here, right? You have to put and you have to output the room A here into the work part. Okay, so the process exactly the same. With that, once you understand the logic, you see how we work with this one. Now, number 3, master file. This one work with the master and transaction. Right? This one work with the master and transaction. Again, I expect that when we work this one, we have to go to the master and transaction here, and you know what is the process when we work with the master and transaction. Right? Follow exactly the same with the logic of the both of the flow chart and still code here. This one work with control break. Right? This one with the logic control break here. That's why you see you have to maintain the count here. You have to maintain the OZIP here. So I think that this one is exactly the same with the example in the slide here. Work exactly the same with the control logic breaking. Yeah, this one work exactly the same. Work exactly the same. This one. You have to maintain the count. You have to maintain the O state here. Right? For this one is OG, but this one is O state. And the process is exactly the same. So again, if you understand the logic, it's very easy for you to convert it into the debugging exercise. Okay. Any question? If you need any help from me for this debugging exercise, let me know. No?
I have a question. Just because this part is confusing on number 3.
Okay, number 3.
This part right here.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't quite sure like how to write that out.
This one. You do not understand this part?
Yeah.
Okay, let me show you in the slide. Let me show you in the slide how we have this problem. This one. That's the So what happened is the program here. Yes, this one here. If transaction customer number greater than master here, customer greater than customer here, you have no master record for that transaction here. So now think about this one here. Think about somehow, right? I have the 2 file here. I know that this one is a master file, right? You check, and this one is the transaction for today, right? So think about I have one more record here, the transaction number about 200 here, and transaction customer name it is 15 here, and he have the 150 here, right? So see what happened when you read for this one. They are not. There is when you think about when you go to this one and you go to this one here, right? Now see the first one they are not equal, right? So we go to know here. If transaction customer number here, right, greater than master customer number 10, you know for sure something wrong with this one, right? Because here the master file, you have to keep track of every master customer, right? So see in the master file you have no customer with the 15 here. So how can you have this one in the transaction here, right? So see something wrong with the transaction here, and that's why no master record for the transaction. Yes, you don't do anything with this one. Something wrong with this one. Make sense? Yeah, that's all. That's the process here. That's why you have this in your program. Right? Because the master customer file here keep track of every customer already. So how can you only have to from 1 to 10? How can you have the 15 here? Right? Make sense? Okay. Okay. Any other question, guys? No. Okay. Now I go with the. Okay, I go with the final project here. Now, in the final project, I had something very clearly that I expected when I work with the final project here. The first thing here, the first thing I expect is that you have to input a list of customer name and the customer quantity, right? And store them into the parallel array. That I expect that you have to do it for multiple customers, not only one. Right? I do it for multiple customers here. And every time you got the name and every time you got the quantity order from each customer, you have stored into the array. And they are parallel array. Right? So see, you have A, order 10, you have B, order 20, and you have C, order 30 here. So you have two parallel array. The first one is the name here. Right? Name. The second one is the quantity here, or order item, whatever, quantity here. Right? They are parallel because here the number of name is always the same with the number of quantity order here. Right? That's why they are parallel array, and each of them they are related together. You know that when you look in the parallel array, whenever you have the name A, you know for sure it is the order for 10 here, right? And when you look at the name C, you know for sure it is the 30 here. And the reason you know, you have to maintain the index. They are related together, right? So see, for this one, you have name, whenever you have name, 0, and you have the quantity, 0. They are related together by index number here. And name 0, A, and quantity 0, 10. Okay, that's the first thing. You have to remember how we work with this one. For this program, you expect that you have to enter for multiple customer here, and you have stored into the array. Now, the second one, you enter input with the sentinel value. That's on something you have to remember. When you work with the sentinel value, you are the one who control how to access the loop. Right? It's not specified to 10 customer or 20 customer, but it can be varied here. It's okay. So think about this one. Enter the name, enter star to stop. That's all, right? Use the star is a sentinel value to access the loop, access the process of storing data into the array here. Now, the third one, you have to apply the defensive technique here. You know that I mentioned it more than one time in the class, right? You know how to do it, right? Any idea about that?
It's essentially to stop them from putting in a value.
Yes, right. So think about you have Gigo here. Sorry, you have Gigo. If you have garbage in, you have garbage out. Right? So should be better. Every time you enter, when you get the input from the user, you have to validate. You have to validate if it's the correct value or it's expected value or not. Right? Think about what happened if you enter the negative number 10 here. Like that. The process totally going wrong, right? You have no way to have the quantity or the negative 10 here. Right? That's why you have to use the defensive technique here to verify the input quantity as a positive integer number. Okay. Now, I believe that I showed it to you more than one time on the class, right? But some of you raise the question again, so I will come over it again. I'll come over it again. Where am I program? This one. Yeah, this one. One of the common loop application. It is used for defensive program here, right? Prepare for all possible error before they occur, and one of them is a validate data here. I validate data here. So think about make sure the data flow is an acceptable range. Think about if you enter the birth month, right? Your birth month. You make sure that you have to verify the birth month, everything in the range from 1 to 12. You cannot have the birth month of negative 10 or 15 here. Right? Now you have the Gigo here. If you have the garbage in, you have garbage out. Now think about this one. I have the program here. I have program here, the input router here. Right? So this is very simple program. Why don't we see it here? I think I should delete this one. Change here. Think about after For every one, he had increase of the 1,000. Right? So I have salary here. And I bring it down. Please use it. Okay, nothing but this one. This is a very simple program, right? I ask the program here, raise a question here. What is your salary? So think about every time I enter, I got the increase by 1,000 here. Very simple, right? So I run program here. Think about my salary right now is 10,000, and after that I have a 2,000 here. Right? Think about 10,000. So after that I have increase of the 11 here. Right? Now, what happened here? Think about this one. What happened if I enter the negative 3,000 here? Still show me, right? It's still accept here. It's not acceptable with the program. You have no way to got the salary with the negative number, right? That's the first thing. And what happened if I put my salary here, 2,000? 2,000. Okay. See, this program actually for the Raptor, they concatenate both of the string and the number together. That's why you have this one, right? But anyway, I expect that and whenever you enter the salary, you have to enter for the positive integer number, which I think about 1,000 or 15,000, whatever it is, right? So that is a step of the input validation. You have to make sure that whenever you user enter the program, you have whenever the user enter program, you have to validate it to make sure it is expected value here, right? So I think about I can give you another example here. Think about I divide here. Should be better I divide by 2 here. Make more sense. Now see what happened here. I reduce. So whenever I have a 2,000. I got the syntax error here, right? So the same with the real programming language console. If you do not validate the input data, when you run it, when you compile it, you got the syntax error, and you have to go back to fix it until fix this program can run here. Make sense? Okay. So for this example, you have to make sure that whenever you enter the salary here, whenever you enter where am I? Whenever you enter the salary here, you have to make sure you have to enter the positive. And think about integer here, right? Number. For salary, it can be floating, but it's okay. But I want to make it more specific in the positive integer number here. Right? So in order to do that, you can work with the loop here. You can work with the loop, right? You can work with the loop for this one here. If I think about this one here, I can go back to another program here. I had input validation. So see, whenever I got the salary from the user, the first step here, I have to check to make sure it is in the number format here. Right? You can have no way to put it in the 2,000 or 5,000 by the string here. That's the first thing, right? You have to make sure it is in the number format. Now you know that for sure. The salary must be greater than 0, right? That's why you have to end here. And if you want to make sure they are the integer number or the whole number here, so you put the floor salary equal to salary here. Right? So anytime if he puts something going wrong, the program forces you to enter it again, right? Until you can enter it correctly. Make sense? Okay. So now see, if you run this program here, if you run this program here again, right? What happened here? If I run the negative 100 here, it's asking me, right? You have to enter it again, right? So if I put the number 145 here, it forces me to come back in again. And if you put the 2,000 here, it forces me to go back again. Okay? That's the one of the example when you work the input validation in the Raptor. So in the Raptor, you have some other built-in function You can check it's a character or it's string also. Make sure, right? Make sense, guys? Hello? Oh, the guy who raised the question is not here today. Okay, any question with this one? Let me know. Now I come back to the program again, right? Now see, when you're done with the process of getting input, when it's done with the process of getting input from user, you store it into the parallel array name and quantity already, right? And you make sure that it has to validate for the quantity. After you completing the input, the program will figure out the discount rate for each customer and the final bill for each of them, right? So this process here, I expect you to do with range match here. That's what you learn in the module 6, right? Of course, for this one, you can work with the netted decision here, netted decision, yeah. But you see, one of the way you can work with the range match is way better, right? See, and even that when I work with the match, I expect that you do not have to maintain a flag here. You see, in the program, you do not have to do anything with the flag, right? I see some of you use a flag also, but it's not the optimal way. Even that you do not have to use a flag for this one. You see, if you go back on the module 6 here, you go back on the module 6, you see what the program is. Yeah. This one work exactly this one. The same with this one here. Program here is I expect that to do the same with this one. Do the same with this one. So see, for this one here, you just maintain only one loop, right? You maintain only one loop here. See, I do not have to use any flag here. Some of you will set the flag. It is a no at the beginning, and whenever power you change it to the yes. It's okay, but it should be better work with this one. You even do not have to use it. Okay, so see, in the case of my program here, it's very simple. Only one loop. It's very simple here, right? Only one loop. It's very simple here. I do not have to use a flag here. And if you understand the logic in this one, same, we follow the same process here. Follow the same process here. Any question? Any question? So see, in the case for this one here, right? If you want to work the range match here, again, you have to use the two parallel array, quantity limit and the discount. Right? And every time you run the loop and you check it with the range match here. So, any questions, guys? Okay, how are you? Do you have any question, guys? No? Okay, so now I expect that you already totally understand the whole process. And we done everything in this class. And yeah, I hope you do it well with the final project and the final exam. And for anything, if you need any help from me, you can send me the email or you can join my office hour. Okay. And for anyone, if you need any help from me, you can stay after class. Again, I will need. Okay, think we've done everything with the lecture already. Let me check the attendance here. And anyone, if you need help, you can stay after the class. John, are you here? Jalen, are you here? Jalen. Haunton, are you here? Haunton, are you here? Eric, are you here? Joe, are you here? Joe.
Hey, I had the wrong input. I'm here, Colton.
Hey, I am here. This is Jalen.
I don't know where are you when I call your name. Eric, are you here? Joe, are you here? Evan, are you here? Lindsay. Michael. Matt, here, right? Mary, not here. Bill, are you here? I'm here. Zyric, are you here? Zyric, are you here? Max, here. John, are you here? Paul, are you here?
Here.
Daniel, are you here? Parker, are you here? Carl, are you here?
I'm here.
Parker here, right? Park, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay. Alex, are you here? Alex. Park. Drew here. Parker, are you here? Look here. Malcolm, are you here? Okay. So good luck, guys. And if you need any help, you can stay after this class or you can send me the email for this one. I'm willing to help you.